Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're at day 19 of the March daily LeetCode challenge, and we again have a question which is around the topic of bit manipulation. And I will be showing you a solution which is even better than the official LeetCode solution. So I will show you where at like with which position I am doing better than the official LeetCode solution. I will highlight that and let you know once I'm discussing the code. But let us quickly see the question. It's question 3191. Minimum operations to make binary array elements equal to one. Okay, it's the part one of that question. It's okay. Before that, so from the last 2 to 3 days we are getting questions on the bit manipulation topic. Yesterday's question was a really nice one. Okay, it was a medium level question, and we have done some really great work in that. So my request will you please go and check out that, because if you are like, see, if you are providing for bit manipulation questions, that will be the real question that you should be targeting. Okay, as simple as that. This is not something which is really bit manipulation. Okay, though it is related to the bit manipulation, but it's not directly. Okay, so what I've done is like I have tried to show like how this can be exactly solved using bit manipulation, but again, without this also you can solve it. Okay, as simple as that. So even in the official solution, they are not doing this part actually. Okay, so they are doing without it, but again, that is a kind of costly operation. You have to write some if statements and all that. So I am avoiding that, and I'm doing this. I will let you know how this works. Okay, but this thing I've discussed in yesterday's video also. Okay, so this question, if you see, we are given a binary array. Okay, binary means all the values are going to be 0 and 1. And one more thing is, if you see, the length of the input is going to start from 3. Okay, this is the most important thing that you have to see. It's always going to start from 3, so you have to design your code in such a way that you are able to handle these cases. Okay, because normally people will think will start from 1 and they will check the length and all these things. Okay, so I am not doing that. See, if you see the kind of solution that I'm preparing, at the last I'm taking the last two values and I'm doing a sum of them. Okay, so this is possible because the number of elements is always going to be 3 or greater than 3. Okay, as simple as that. So now if you see the question, what they're saying is, you have to see, they are defining operation. That operation can be done any number of times, which also means this can be done zero number of times also. So what is the operation? You will have to choose any three consecutive elements and you have to flip them. What is the meaning of flip? So flipping means one will be made to zero and zero will be made to one. Okay, so you have to do this operation any number of times including zero, in such a way that after that all the array elements become one. Okay, all the array elements become one. There could be zeros initially, but all of them should become one after any number of operations. They are asking you to return the minimum number of operations required to make all the elements in nums equal to one. Okay, so they are asking you the number of operations that you will be needing, that will be requiring for this particular purpose. Okay, to make all the elements one. If there is a case where this is not possible, so you have to return -1. Okay, they have given such a scenario in example number 2. You can go through it and see like why it is not possible. The idea here is, when you see this particular element is 0, so you have to first make it 1. If you make it 1, what will happen is the next element will become 0. Okay, so when you are trying to make the next two elements 1, what will happen is the last element will become 0. Okay, so idea here is we cannot make all the elements 1 in any case, because the operation, the way it is defined, it is always taking the three consecutive elements. Remember, on all three of them the flipping will happen. It's not like only one of them will happen. All the three elements which are consecutive will have to flip them. Okay, that is the basic idea, right? See, from which three consecutive elements you are selecting, that is up to you, but the idea here is, whenever you're trying to flip one element, what will happen is two of the elements which are around it will be flipped. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so yeah, you can go through example number 1. They have given detailed steps like how it is working. You can go through it. You can get an idea from this like how it works. But the idea is very simple. You have to do a basic simulation. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, you will have to basically simulate the scenario. Whenever you see element which is 0, you will have to apply the flipping. Okay, so always the best idea here is to start from left towards right. Okay, so whenever we see 0 element, what we'll do is we'll try to flip that, and since we're flipping it, we'll have to flip the next two elements also. So this way we'll continue, and then at last we'll see whether the last two elements are one or not. Okay, that's how I'm checking this. I'm checking whether the last two elements are one or not. If they're one, there's some will be two. In that case, we return the final answer, which is the number of operations that we did. Otherwise, we are returning -1. Okay, so in this case, if you see what I'm doing, I'm first of all capturing the length. Okay, then I am declaring my answer, which is 0. Then I'm starting the I from 0 till n minus 3. Okay, from 0 till n minus 3. So what is n minus 3, by the way? See, the idea here is I want the my array to continue from this index onwards till this index. So this will be the last index which is processed. Okay, so this many, like, this is the how the I will be going from. Okay, from the index 0 till index n minus 3. Okay, so what I'm checking, if, okay, let me zoom in. See, idea here is, if the number becomes 1. Okay, if the number is 1, basically you have to continue, because we don't have to do anything here. Okay, if it is 1, we don't need to do any flipping. If it is not 1, you have to flip. So what is that means? We are doing operation here. Okay, so answer is incremented. Then you have to like flip the next element. See, current element will obviously get flipped, but we don't need to simulate that. Okay, so try to understand the idea. See, current element I already know it is not. See, in this case, whenever I come into else condition, we know that it is a 0 element. Okay, it has 0, so obviously it will be flipped. Okay, so like we are not doing it in real, but we know in our mind that yeah, we have to flip it. Okay, because it's 0. So what is more important is we have to flip the next element, because these are yet to come in our iteration. Okay, these are yet to come in our iteration. So we will have to compulsorily change them. Otherwise, we will take a wrong value when we are coming to this particular elements. Okay, when we are coming to their indexes. So see, this part is also optional. If you want, you can uncomment it, but I will say you can leave it like that, because the way the code is implemented, this is not needed, okay, because you already processed this element. The I is already processed for this, so you don't have to change it necessarily, but you can do if you want, okay, as simple as that. Because ultimately, see, we don't have to return this, okay, so there is no need to change things here, okay, as simple as that. But the last, see, the next two elements, that's I plus 1, I plus 2, we have to compulsorily change. So what is happening, see, now whenever you do XOR with, first of all, try to understand this is XOR operator, okay. What is XOR? See, basically we're doing XOR with 1. So what is XOR with 1? XOR with 1 leads to a toggling effect. What that means, if the nums of I plus 1 is 1, then after this flipping it will become 0. If the nums of I plus 1 is 0, after flipping it will become 1, okay. That is, if it is 0 it will become 1, if it is 1 it will become 0. That is called the toggling effect, that is generated by doing XOR of that number with 1, okay. So this is the XOR with 1, okay. Nums of I plus 1 is equal to nums of I plus 1 XOR with 1, okay. Similarly for the nums of I plus 2 also I'm doing the same thing, XORing with 1, okay. So this is the concept that I'm introducing here, okay. Even in the official solution, they are not doing it in this. So what they are doing is they are basically using the if statements. If it is 0, make it 1, and all those things they are doing, okay. Again, like, you don't have to do a if statement here, because always it has to be toggled, okay, as simple as that. So if you have to like toggle in any case, then always it's better to do XOR with 1, okay, as simple as that. XOR with 1 leads to toggling effect. See, these things will make a difference. See, these kind of easy questions, where anyone can write the answer. See, these small things will make a difference, okay. Because if multiple people are able to clear a question or clear interview, then these things will matter, okay. Who was able to put in the best knowledge, who was able to do it in the best possible way, okay. So you don't have to add a if statement, that's kind of overhead here, okay. You can avoid that. Obviously you can like optimize it further, okay. So we are doing that. So idea here is, whenever a element has the value 0, we are incrementing our answer, because we are doing an additional operation. And the next two elements, okay, compulsory, the next two elements has to be toggled, okay. The current element, if you want, you can toggle it, otherwise you can remove it, okay. I have commented this statement, okay. This statement will not be executed in my code. At last, once I come out of this for loop, what I'm checking is, if the last two elements sum, okay, that is, I'm checking the sum of the last two elements. Remember, these two are indicators, okay. If these two are 1, that means all the elements are going to be 1. Why? See, because this loop basically runs till last index, okay. That is the third last index till this point, okay. So these two elements, they will only be 1. If they are 1, that means all the elements are going to be 1. If they're not 1, that means we will not be able to convert all the elements to 1 ever, okay. Simple as that. So that's what I'm checking it here. If these two elements are 1, that means the sum will be 2. If the sum is 2, that means we can return the answer, which will tell us the number of operations. If this is not 2, the sum of these two is not 2, then that means it is not possible to convert this to a array with all ones, okay. So we have to return -1 in this case, okay. So this is the basic idea behind the question. I have already submitted the solution and it worked, okay. So this is even better than the official solution, because of the way it is implemented. I'm not using any if condition to check whether like, if it is 0, we have to make it 1, if it is 1, we have to make it 0. Those things, they're using if condition, okay. I'm not doing that, as simple as that, right? So yeah, friend, that was all for this particular video, and this was on a slightly easier side. Yesterday's question, if you really want to try something uh, you know good, of good level, then definitely try for yesterday's question. That was on a really good side, okay. You will get to know a lot about bit manipulation if you're trying to do this kind of questions, okay. We are right shifting, we are extracting the value of a particular bit in yesterday's question. So please go and try that out, okay. I've also given a detailed explanation for that, so please, if you have time, please do go and see that out, okay. So yeah, friend, that was all for this particular video, and if you have any questions, please do let me know. I always go through every comment here, and I always try my best to give you the best possible answer. So yeah, friend, that was all for this video. If you like my efforts, if you like the quality of this channel, the quality of the content here, please subscribe to the channel. This really gives us a lot of motivation to continue further. I am at 148th day. I am about to reach 150 day, okay? And also I'm about to complete 1,000 questions on LeetCode. So it has all been possible because of your support. If you keep supporting, if my content helps you, then definitely I will continue making this kind of content. So yeah, friend, that was all for this particular video. There are around 400 videos now in this channel. Please do go and check that out. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Our aim is to create a collection where during interview preparation you can freely come and check these videos out, so that you get an idea of how to approach a question in an interview, okay. That is a basic idea with which I am creating this kind of videos. That will help you, at the same time it is helping me, because it is giving me a reason to code every day, okay. Because of that, I'm able to complete 148 days, okay. We always need a reason to code, and obviously when you're coding, it's not just a solution, it's also about, if this question comes in interview, what you're going to present, what all is happening here. For example, the space and time complexity also. So in this case, if you see, it is going to be O of n solution, okay, in terms of time complexity. Because if you see, we are almost going to each of the elements. So in this case, it is O of n time complexity solution. If you could talk about space complexity, if you see, we are just using two constant, just two variables, okay. Two variables. These variables are of constant length, as simple as that. So the space complexity is not influenced by the length of the input, okay. So in this case, it is a O of constant space complexity. So yeah, friends, that was all for this particular video, and see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.